Trauma processes in layers and cycles. And the reason that it does this is because we're very, very good at protecting ourselves, and our body, our psyche, our nervous system, our being will only allow as much as we can safely process at a time. And that's why when we're processing our story, it might be in pieces that only certain parts of the story come to light, and it may be non-linear in nature. So we're not necessarily following a single or straightforward timeline. It may also be that when we're working with particular traumatic events or relationships, that only a certain part or element of those events or relationships comes to the surface, and it's only later that we're able to go a layer deeper and process more. And there's often many layers that need to surface. It's also often through a period of safety and integration that we build the strength and resilience, the capacity that we need to go deeper. So something that can often happen is that all of a sudden we reach this beautiful integration space, and we're a bit freed up and we're more alive and have capacity. And then all of a sudden something difficult emerges, and that can feel a little bit annoying. I remember earlier in my journey, I used to feel sick of myself. That I used to say, I'm just sick of myself, because I think, am I not done yet? Haven't I visited this enough? Haven't I put this to bed? And it took me a little bit of work and exploration to realize that the frustration or the anger that I felt at having to deal with my trauma again was really coming from a part of myself that had been acted in from all of the people and relationships that had not been so self-compassionate to me, and that didn't really care about my experiences, let alone provide a safe space to be with and process them and make sense of them. So another piece of the trauma healing journey is to catch that part of ourselves that doesn't want to listen, that doesn't want to deal with our experience, and to try and send that out and bring in a very compassionate part of ourselves. And we all have it. If we're on the healing journey, we have a part of ourselves that wants to heal and wants to listen and care. So we really need to connect to that. And that's part of the process of reparenting. I'm making this video today actually in quite a vulnerable space, because through all my years of healing and now working in the field and speaking and writing, I still access layers of my trauma, and I've been accessing one in the last month as I write my book. Yes, I'm writing a book. I've been writing it since the beginning of the year in pockets and layers as I have space, and I hit a part in the book that revisited some really difficult experiences, and I had that come up. I didn't want to deal with it, but I had to shift into that compassionate voice. So that's where I am at the moment, making space to be with another layer of my experience. When I hit that pocket of trauma to revisit, I had such a physical experience, as is always the way for me. I broke out. You can see I've broken out on my forehead and also on my shoulders, and my body became really very tense, particularly my right foot, which is connected to my hip, where there's a lot of old trauma stories. So I'm making sure that I take space to be with it and to process, knowing, okay, there's more to go. So I guess if you are on your journey healing from trauma and you're wondering why you're weaving in and out of stories or back and forth through a timeline, that's because your beautiful being is bringing your trauma to light in a way that is digestible for you. So can you welcome it? Can you go into those cycles of healing and then come out into places of integration and just be kind to yourself?